Hello everybody, this is ZigZagZog coming to you from somewhere in this world. We're back to continue our playthrough of Empire Total War featuring Darthmod in the 40 unit saved version. Well, we had some nice activity up a little bit in the north here in India, and now I think I've decided we're going to see if we can't move this army out of Hyderabad and see if we can't move over towards this territory, Ahmednagar. I'm not even going to guess if I pronounce that right or put the accents in the right spot, but that's where we're headed. Hopefully we can get there, and we got some remnant forces over here. They're not strong enough to dislodge us from Malwa, I do not believe. We'll see if they end up trying to reinforce here in advance of our advance. What I'd like to ideally do is keep them from getting down here to Bijapur, and because that's where the forts are. We don't need them to get too strong behind the fort walls before we're able to destroy those walls. So that's the plan for this episode, and let's see if we can't make it happen. First thing I want to do is see if we are able to recruit from any losses here, spend a little bit of our funds doing that, and then let's take a stroll and see what the public order looks like with us moving out. Oh, and we can barely get it done down here. The lower classes are feeling neutral at this point, so we will survive. What we'll do in the process of leaving, though, to help improve that situation is we will upgrade to a governor's residence. I think the opera house also helps happiness. Mostly, yeah, lower class and middle class. So we'll spend a little bit of funds there just to boost the happiness while we've stepped away.
Yeah.
And how far can we get? We can get pretty dang close to our target, and then we'll have to see how these guys react. There's not much in the way of directions they'll be able to go to get past us. We got our reinforcing army back here, our frontline army to the north, and then our frontline army to the south, so they're not going to have a lot of options to get by us. My thinking is they'll try reinforcing down here. We'll find out if I'm accurate. We'll find out if I'm correct. Some other things I want to look at doing when this gets under control here, and I don't know how far away we are. Oh yeah, we're pretty close to getting under control here too. Speaking of which, to help that happen also, we're going to improve to a governor's residence, but I'd like to see about those territories we've taken over. This one may be able to go up towards Hindustan, which is one of our targets I believe we need. Let's see if we can help some infrastructure. In fact, Malwa, where we took over, has no roads yet, so let's at least get it some basic dirt roads to help our movement. It should speed up our movement by doing these simple, basic little things. Don't quite feel like we need to use the roads there. Let's work on the roads here, getting them up to cobbled roads. Any other roads we're going to need in our movements, and we got that. So those are the initial roads I want to improve. We may come back and improve some more here in just a moment. The other thing, and no, we don't need to demolish the school. I know what I was thinking when it comes to schools. Now, you're far enough in the reserve. Let's see if cotton or tea is the better investment. Tea at 20, cotton at 18. We're going with the tea. And start investing in plantations now, and a little bit of infrastructure back here in the provinces that are a little bit more protected. I'll at least, even though they're susceptible, if these guys come straight through, they're going to be susceptible to raiding yet again. But we're gonna try repairing. And if these guys decide to just ignore the towns we're going to be heading towards and then go on raiding duty, then we have forces here to be able to come down and counteract that. So I'm not too worried about that. Some of these backwater places, yeah, we'll just spend some of our upgrades in India for a change. We've been hitting the continent so hard. I think we'll we'll increase a few things back behind our lines here that feel secure again. We'll go with upgrading the school again, the food so we can maintain and gain growth, and we're almost getting our money spent just like that, aren't we? Alright, that's looking good for the moment. I'm not going to build any more recruiting or do any more recruiting of our armies at the moment. I think we're satisfactory for the time being. So I think we are set to move over. There's a little detail. We spent our money. We will have an election, a free and fair election next turn. So we're going to lose a lot of these wonderful leaders that we've developed over time and probably start back at square zero with some less than desirable cabinet members. We'll find out how that election goes. But the other thing I got to do, I remember at the beginning the turn last time, we have a new missionary over here. In fact, I probably didn't leave enough funds to do much of anything, but I don't need a church school here. Protestantism that we are promoting is 100%, I believe, up here in Norway. Yes, it's 100%, so why do we need a church school up here? Unnecessary. Let's just get our agent out of here and moving to where he can help us more. And let's demolish. And I think that's all we have left to really accomplish down here. We did our moves in northern Italy just to refresh our memories. Yeah, we got a ship back here to put them on the move. We'll decide next turn if we want to move against Sardinia or against Naples next. I'm undecided, but we'll figure that out. Easy choices and easy decisions like that are nice for a change. And then in the Americas, I think we're all set on Cuba and whatnot. It's mostly waiting to take New York down the road, so we're just healing up, and we're in a good situation here. So to my mind, we are ready for a new turn, so let's make it happen. See if there's any surprises on the horizon. All right, we've completed a new technology, the flying shuttle. So we'll take a look there when we have a moment to reassign a new research path. And we got our successful rake missions here. And the election results. The hustings are over after 2 auspicious terms in office. The current government is stepping down to make way for a new cabinet of trusted and crappy. Look at that, 2 stars right there. Trusted and crap compatriots. So we'll play the reshuffle game and kicking people out of office and see what we can come up with here in a moment. We have a new national leader following our free and fair elections. And we have some new towns emerging along with our construction report. Some new roads have been built that'll help our movement north here in the Americas with those metalled roads finishing. And let's see where our new towns are. Make some moves right there before we get going and then forget about them. Now we got this here. Let's go see what the religions are looking like in Upper Canada here. Catholicism. So yeah, temporarily we're doing fine on income. We're going church school over here to try to help with the conversion process in that new town. And the next new town is, where is this? On the islands, Andalusia. And what are we looking as far as religions down here? Once again, we might as well, yes, go with the church school here also. And there we go. Let's take a look over in Europe. Let's start over here first. We will keep our missionaries since I'm up here on the north side of the map. We'll keep moving them down this way. We'll keep them, however, up here in Sweden, just because I noticed if we ever end up having to take over here, let's complete the conversion over here. Yeah, Protestantism is now, we're going to try to get rid of the animism remaining down here at 5% to go, so we might as well park them here for the moment. Not that it really helps us, but in the back of my mind I'm always thinking, well, eventually we might take over Sweden, right? Let's get it converted. Let's just take a look at Copenhagen first before I move away, though. Yeah, we're 100% Protestant there, so no big deal. Let's head down to northern Italy first and see if we can pick up our troops here that we've got ready to move out. Everybody but the militia. We'll be boarding the ships. And where do we want to go? They move their forces out of here. Do they have a port that we can move into? Not that's built yet. Do we have a port in Naples that we could land in to get us going a little quicker? The port would be way down here, this shipyard. There's a here's a quick. If we can reach this landing point, land in this port, that'll give us movement to get up here in a hurry. So we are going to see if we can't get down to Naples first. Let's take our navy, get it moving. Yes, it can reach here.
All hands on deck! All hands on deck!
And there's a navy there. So what do you know? We are going to have a problem. Let's offload our forces first. Okay, over there, that's fine. Let's see about getting this ship to safe harbor, because I have a feeling it looks like we might be outnumbered, even though these forces are not at full strength. But we got a fifth rate, yeah, and they definitely outrates a one single fourth rate. So let's see if we can get our vessel to safety. We can get it pretty far, but we'll just come back to the same port we left from, just in case we end up needing reinforcements or to recruit some more armies. And I'm happy, I believe, with our land forces here, even with the garrison that we have up here. I'm happy how we match up. It's not a wipeout kind of overwhelming odds as far as numbers are concerned, but I think we can do okay with a couple cavalry, at least one artillery. I'm sure they have mortars in their garrison and things to counter us that way, but I think we match up okay with just militia and militia as far as Spain's troops. So next turn we'll be able to march on Naples. And down here, we're going to see if having our vessel's presence here allows us to make a move across the straits here, or if his zone of control somehow interferes with all that in our movement over there. We're going to find out. Is everybody... Now, we still need to spend money on re-recruiting, healing our damages. Costs 1,700 to do that. And let's just see what... I mean, we're probably not in a great shape, at least with the lower classes, to move everybody out yet. But let's just... I'm going to take a look at the units that have no damage, which is just these four. See, are we able to cross? It says we should be able to cross over to here. I wonder how many we can afford to move out. Well, let's take everybody but a few weak units. Plus 16, we should be pretty close to okay to be able to take most everybody. So let's keep our weakest units. We'll take cavalry and artillery. Then as far as infantry, anybody below 200. Well, that doesn't qualify many. But everybody below 300, those whooping 3 units will stay. Or I should say below 200. Let's move our army out and see if they can make it over here. And they can. And what is our loyalty in Gibraltar has hanging in there just fine. So we've got enough forces that we've left in reserve, and let's see about going against the garrison they have here. It's a decent garrison all by itself, but I think we should be able to overcome it without too much trouble. So let's attack. We're going to see, since it is only garrison, and we are outnumbering them 2 to 1, let's see, they may just, if we're lucky, surrender, and we won't have to go up the walls. Let's find out. No, it's refused. So we got ourselves a battle. We got a couple regiments of mortars. We do have one group of garrison line infantry. Otherwise, everybody else is militia or armed citizenry. So I'm thinking in my mind we should have this one. So we'll see you down on the battlefield. Okay, we're starting on a hillside overlooking the fort that we need to take over. Let's just take a quick peek at the fort. Okay, pretty standard square style, so nothing new there. We just got to figure out what sides, and we do wrap around. Also a hillside on this side of the fort. So I may just send up, typically like we do often, we'll have an artillery regiment on this side or artillery regiment on this side. We'll scatter the rest of our troops around to support the breaches that we're bound to make. Maybe send a few units on the back sides where we will not be having breaches, so if they're undefended we can take the walls that way. And there you go. So I'll be right back as soon as we get our setup done. Alright, we're set up. We got one regiment of artillery right here to pound a hole on this side of the fort. We've got these units right here, 1, 2, 3, 3 units on the right, 2 units on the left that will move forward to take care of the breach. We'll keep a couple token regiments in reserve just in case we have some last minute reacting to do, just like we have the cavalry off in the distance back corner, our whole 2 whopping regiments, which include the general, to react should things start happening outside the walls, which I doubt. This is our force to come over on the side and take advantage of these walls should they be unprotected. And we got the same kind of setup over here on this wing. We've got about our 5 or so units to take care of the breach. The regiment of artillery right around here to cause the breach, and then on this side we've got our group of 5 regiments to approach the back wall. So if any of these wall sides and they have limited troops in here are left undefended, we have opportunities on all 4 walls that way. So that is the plan. We're going to be pounded by mortars, but hopefully we're going to do enough pounding ourselves to get through the walls quick enough before we are depleted with losses from those mortars. So let's get this thing going. Okay, the first wall is targeted. The second wall is targeted, and we will start advancing right away. These are the units, and I do see a regiment on this side, so we will have some resistance there. We're going to start moving up our get through the breach forces over here right now. We'll stretch them out to hopefully minimize losses from cannon fire. And we'll start doing the same thing over here. We're already taking our fire. We're going to come down here to work on the breach, to spread ourselves out. And finally we're going to head to the back wall, where we also have a force here on the corner. But they're on the move, so they may not be remaining where we're headed. So this is our back wall force right here. So we should have everybody on the move with just like 4 regiments, 2 cavalry, 2 infantry in reserve. So let's hope we don't take too many losses in this advance. And damage is 20%. They seem to be focusing out here on this advance at the moment. I saw the cannonballs go by into the wall. I did not like the look of those cannonballs flying over the wall. We need to start hitting the wall, boys. 27% down though, so we're pretty even on how the breach is going. The only bad thing about the breach that I've chosen here is it all is in one corner, making it easier for them to defend. But we will then target further breaches after that if this ends up being too plugged up. And we are already wavering. We have some massive losses from the mortars because they've targeted both of them, just targeting on this one unit. Wow. And the wall cannon are starting to do their own job shooting against us also. I see some damage. Is that a 50% shot? Or we hit the corner is what we've done, is we've damaged down the corner. Walls should hopefully go down just as about the same time we get our troops up in range to take advantage of the walls going down. Unfortunately, our troops are getting pounded. Now they've changed the mortars to be shooting back here. Give these guys a little break, catch their breath. Oof, they're way weakened. The walls, oh, and the walls just disappeared with them on it. So this unit is in dire straits here. 100%, 100%. Time to retarget some of our units as far as the artillery is concerned. So over this side, and the other unit over this side. So the breach is there. How close are we to get through the breach? Pretty dang close. So let's get up here running. Let's get up here running. And let's get up here running. We can react before they can bring too much through. Now they're bringing units down. The good thing about them plugging the hole here like this is that's less cannon fire we're going to be taking now too. It's only going to be the mortars that we got to worry about. Except we, with the breach, are now going to become the target of those mortars, I believe. We're going to set up some fire here if we can. And we're going to get some other units charging in. Total melee. As often is the case. But I want to get the units running in, so if they want to shoot us with the mortars, they can also do damage on their own guys. We have units starting to come out of the walls a little bit. Units for this breach. We got backup for the breach on this side. So we'll hold these guys in reserve in case they can come through the other breach that we'll be making. These units are going back inside again, so we won't hit the walls yet. We'll keep him here in case these guys start moving out. We'll take our middle unit up to the walls here. Well, you guys need to fire over here. They're in range. Get going. There we go. This side wall is totally uncontested, so I have no problem making the advance onto the walls right away. In fact, we'll keep these two units in reserve for when we take the gates. And our melee units are not holding up well, just because you kind of figure they wouldn't. Because they're getting a lot of bombardment over here. That's why it's important for us to get up and over these walls as we can. Any other breaches to help us out are not going well. Targeted? Are we shooting? It says I can't target that side. What is going on? Why am I not getting a target symbol? Well, we'll try this target symbol. No. It's telling me indestructible in certain spots. And I can't, it's not allowing me to target the walls to get a further breach. Well, we already got guys inside. We've already taken over the gates here. Case, let's get in. And let's work on those mortars. Because once the mortars are dealt with, this battle's over. And we are held up. We're not able to complete the last bit of advance with that unit. They are straggled apart all over the place. So we got another unit on the walls. Let's see about bringing them down to complete what we couldn't on this side because we have resistance. Now we'll bring these guys down to the interior to provide fire support. Like we have this gate taken care of. Let's see if we can't get a couple units inside this gate. And the melee is hanging tough so far. And the mortars, you can always tell when the mortars start going quiet. Such a drastic difference when we don't have them firing. Let's get ourselves inside. Everybody through the gates that we have control of. You're still firing on their remnants that are out here. We've gained control off and on of the city center, so we've almost got that under control. And then melee out here, we're just tying them all up, so we got free reign on the interior. Let's see if these guys can manage to come through the gates. We should have control of the center. Let's set up so we can fire on them. A lot of smoke, a lot of haze, but we're making this happen as we expected we would. just securing our center position, and the timer will run out soon, and we will be victorious. And have we taken this unit out yet? Not quite. And with the timer, it's down to 5 and a 4. And this should be our victory. There we go. It's a heroic victory. We took that fairly well. Really, the unit that was doing the most damage to us was we got hit hard over on this flank from the mortars, and then initially, until enough of us got close and mingled in enough with their troops, we were taking some nasty mortar hits over here, but we came through with the heroic victory. And losses of 1,101, not bad. And Gibraltar is ours. Let's get some repairing done down here. Heck, a couple of these buildings, we might as well see. Well, I guess it doesn't matter if we can convert. We can still, unlike other games, these buildings may look and have the style there. We can still use them. So let's repair mostly here. Here also. We might as well repair so we can recruit here going forward. And we will burn these walls. Now, the last thing we have to take care of is the army, and we should have some more damages and recruiting to be able to do. And we still have decent funds at 22,564. Our general down here gained a trait +1 to morale in battle, and we've captured the region. That means the Spanish should be down to just a couple regions left. Well, it looks like it should just be Sardinia and Naples is what I'm thinking. Let's get in here just to make sure. If I take a look at Spain, yep, that seems to be the only two territories that I'm seeing highlighted. Nowhere else in the world on the map. So it's a matter of time for Spain. So while we're here in Europe, there's some details we need to take care of. And that is our cabinet. So let's take a look at our cabinet. And Mr. Treasury Man, you're going down. I can already tell you, we're getting rid of you. Let's just see what your traits are. Frugal and thrifty. Well, that's why he's so negative there, is because he's got -2 to Treasury. So he's totally in the wrong position. So I may not end up having to get rid of him. I just might be able to use him somewhere else. Is there anybody else who has some additions or positives for Treasury? Not that one. Well, let's do a straight swap here to start out. And already they're looking better. Do we have any others that just have places they have to be? Let's see, no Treasury. He's good in the army. We might want to move him over to the army. Yeah, let's try this straight swap. Yep, that improves the army. Still strong in the navy. Justice. Do we have anybody who has some stats for justice? No, there's an addition to Treasury +1. But nothing else, so he's not going to be any improvement. Just overall +1 to management. And what was this guy again? This is the just don't put me in Treasury. So I don't have any amazing justice kind of a guy over here. So I guess we're going to hold it the way it is. And our first replacement we'll try is this guy in India. Yeah, because he's not really going to do us any much better in Treasury. And if I move him out, yeah, they're pretty much carbon copies. So let's kick this guy out, see if we can get lucky on the first try and get a better cabinet member. Oh, Puffy Hair has got some skills. Let's go see where his skills are. Let's see. Management, but not treasury. Management. And that gives back some of the... So that's 2 more for justice. So maybe he's going to be a little bit better for justice, which is a key category. Does he have anything that'll hurt him down in India? I don't think so. So let's go... he intimidates with his big hair, and that's why he's so good at justice. There we go. And actually, everybody's above average. So that was probably one of the easiest cabinet shuffles that we've had to deal with in a while. We got our new cabinet in place, and solid for 8 turns. 3 key areas I like to have under control: Justice, Army, Navy. Treasury would be nice to have that 1 extra tick, but we'll do okay there. We can live with it. Now heading over to the Americas, we've got our army ready to go and do something down here in Cuba. What I may do, though, just in case something comes up when we end up going for New York, we have some forces down here to counter their island holdings of the British when we end up going to war. So I think I'll keep that unit, or that army, down there. And let's see how close we are to being able to bring this force out. Looks like we're ready finally at last to get this army on the move. Oh, misjudged that one a little bit. We got some angry folks here in Cherokee territory. Let's see, do we have any buildings here that we can work on? Church, school. It's almost like we should convert it to a pleasure palace or something just to make everybody happy, but that's going to take time also. Let's hope we don't get too much of a revolt down here in Cherokee territory from the nobles who are angry. We're still dealing with resistance to foreign occupation. Now, entertainment and culture, we have improvements here predicted. And that's probably when this building finishes in how many turns? 2 turns yet. So this army may end up doing an about face next turn. I misjudged the public order here. I was focusing on the lower classes, which tend to go south first, and didn't pay attention to the noble class. And we are to our temporary home with the first half of this army up in the old Iroquois territory. We're going to take a quick peek with our rake just to get a better sense of what's around in this area. And we do have some forces over here in Boston, and I do want to kind of get a peek down in Philadelphia. And so we got a fair amount of forces scattered around over here that we're going to have to deal with when it comes time to take New York. So we may, and I may decide to take my forces off of Cuba, or I may decide to just do a tad little extra bit of recruiting before we take on New York here. But first we're going to finish up in India and get control of India so we can react properly to the British in India also when that time comes. Now, we saw a lot of shuffling and consolidating of their forces between turns. The units that were up here have consolidated and didn't really leave. There was nobody that really made a move to defend this territory. We do have a few scattered units, but nothing major going to reinforce Bijapur. I'm not too concerned about them. My question is going to be, can this unit leave, or can this army leave over here yet? And it looks like we can. And so I think what we're going to do is we're going to first of all move this unit and this army out against this consolidated army over here. And let's see how strong they're looking. 1 artillery, 2 artillery units. You know, a lot of melee that we're going to be up against. Numbers wise, we have no artillery, so that's a weakness of ours. That puts us a bit of disadvantage. So what we may have to do is temporarily put on hold conquering this territory, maybe bring down our army right here so it can reinforce, and we just have an overwhelming definite victory with that being done. So let's move this army over here, and hopefully then next turn we can maybe move on this territory, barring some weird happenings. So let's move here, and let's move this army out and attack. This way, at least we have some artillery support, at least showing up as reinforcements, and some other cavalry and whatnot. This army should be able to hold up, I hope, until reinforcements are needed, and we're going to try it that way. Oops, not that. You weren't supposed to move. I'm supposed to click back over here. Misclick. Okay, big time, overwhelming, just because it's such a big battle. Unfortunately, I'll be limited. I won't get the full force of both armies out here. We'll get some reinforcements, and then as units are destroyed or weakened, we'll get a few more. So let's hope some of our artillery maybe is some of the early arrivals. I'm sure the cavalry will be some of our early arrivals to help counter a lot of their cavalry, because that's where they outnumber us. So let's do this battle. Let me see the time first of all. It's going to be tough. This is probably going to run a little long as far as episodes are concerned, but guess what? I want to do this battle right now, so I apologize in advance for the length of this episode. See you on the battlefield. So the difference in this battlefield, and this is going to, I'm guessing, going to have a whole different feel than a lot of other battles, is we are the attacker, and we have no artillery with which to kind of force them to advance on us. So it means we're going to have to be finding ways to advance on them, more than likely, at least until reinforcements arrive with our own artillery. I'm going to keep our cavalry in reserve for the moment. Yeah, we have plenty of infantry. We got 3 regiments of cavalry to start us off. We'll keep them in reserve. What we're going to do is a slow advance. If I see openings that leave their artillery unprotected, as often the AI is prone to do, cavalry will be pouncing out to take advantage of that. But in the meantime, we're going to do some slow advances with these units, ready to convert to square formation, because they do have a hefty amount of cavalry, and start it that way. We'll keep the front line moving to start off this battle, so we'll get them highlighted. Alright, and we're starting to march. And then we are going to have the back row following them up, so our reserves aren't too terribly in the distance to not be able to support. Cavalry, apparently, I think I saw, is on the move. No, moving sideways. And let's find out where we have the artillery set up, front and center. So their units are not going to do a lot of, and we have musketeers right next to them, so kind of suicide-ish to advance our guys in there, our cavalry. But if we start ending up taking too much hurt, now there's wall right in front of their cannons. do a slow advance, also bringing our cavalry a little farther forward if for some reason we feel it's possible. Now the good thing is, if we zoom down in here, their artillery is right below a hill. So they're going to, I don't know if they'll have the ability, depending on how they set up, to be able to shoot over that hill, or if it's going to shoot right into the hill. I do not know. And they're idle right now. Maybe it's because they don't have the ability to shoot over the hill. Now, as far as our reinforcements going, I haven't really seen reinforcements coming on yet, so I don't know when we'll show signs of them being able to appear. And as far as on the wings, I'm not seeing a lot of cavalry on this side, so I think what we're going to do... oh, wait, here, this may be reinforcements that came in. I think I'm going to move my cavalry off to this side where they tend to have a little bit of cavalry. And we're going to continue advancing just a little bit more with our front line, since we seem to be safe at the moment from artillery fire due to their poor placement. See if we can't kind of come on the other side of this hill. See if that works for us. We'll see how they react to that advancement on our part. And I'm going to skew to this side with our back line. Oh, we're able to stretch out far enough anyway. And I'm wary of their cavalry. There is cavalry out here somewhere. If it's able... Oh, they've enclosed, so there you go. Let's help ourselves out over here. That was fast and unnoticed by me. So they were able to pick off one of our units over here, but we'll fix that. Cavalry to the rescue. Musketeers here that at some point, if we rise up over this hill, we may be able to be taking fire from them, but then we'll be able to return it once our line is in place. I think they're going to be just out of range. Yes, so we're probably just out of range from them too. So we'll wait for our rear line to catch back up to us before we do any further advances, and continue with the lone battle that we got going here. Turn these guys into melee also, and we seem to be gaining some headway. We're down to almost half strength. Our losses from our cavalry so far are minor, although we took a hefty bit of losses from our infantry unit. And I'm hearing gunfire. We're not seeing the smoke. Oh, here we go. Our reserve line is firing into the cavalry there. So we're going to bring you over here to anchor the end of the line as if you never got stopped along the way. I'm kind of tempted now to bring my cavalry. Let's see how they're positioning their cannon. Oh, they're in the big shuffle on their lines right now. So I think we take advantage of this disruption. And move a bit closer. try to take the hilltop along this line right here. And this time we take our team and we run. Reserves. Moving up 2 at a run. And I see activity out in the flank again. We got some more of the horsemen trying to play some games with us. We'll see if our own cavalry can take care of them. And the lines are engaging now. We're all in place. It looks like we're finally able to take fire on our guns. Not the way I expected to be able to take out their guns, but the whole line is firing in unison. I think what we will do is our typical take the second line off of fire now that our, at least initially, our front line is holding up. Keep a close eye on this because they will be closing in for melee. And I think we have melee to deal with out this way. Let's do it. We need support. And we're going to bring some more reserves out this way. As they work on our flank. We've closed for melee here, so it's time to give us a little support. So far the line has held. It's been tested, but it has held so far. We are being tested in the center right now with camel gunners moving up. And we've driven this force off. I'm going to pull back on the melee troops that helped us out here. Oh, I take that back. We still got melee going on out here. We've got a lot of melee potentially approaching here in the center. Let's come out and move against these camels. Camels are the strength of their rush on us so far. We do have some more reserves out there in case we need it. In fact, let's get the melee help over here right now before they break through. Still have not, these horsemen have proven to be tough. We're damaging them, but they're holding tough. And they have the opportunity potentially over on the flank to break through without any reserves backed up. So we got our cavalry, we need our cavalry to gain control back. In fact, we can take our melee units here and back them off in the line in case I need to shuffle them down or help out on the flanks. Because our all-important center seems to have held. And definitely this flank over on this side has held just fine. We have some melee that needs some support on the wings. We're going to move our extra melee support, one of these regiments out to the wings already. Just, okay, they're showing signs of wavering now. We finally took care of... No, we have not taken care of their horsemen down here yet. But we're showing signs of solidifying here on the wings. We're going to bring some more of our melee units back in on this unit. And there we go, we've held on the flank. Cavalry is magnificently tied up right now by one regiment of their own horse. Not out of the woods yet with melee charges. Let's get some support back in here. Fire by rank proving a strong force in holding them off. I don't know if I want them going any farther forward. Keep them in reserve for any other... Well, they regroup fast, don't they? They're coming back for more. And they're wavering, so I will not commit these guys in reserve. There we go. And we did chase them off. So our cavalry units maybe can come back here and start taking out their retreating units, keep them from bouncing back so regular as they have been. This flank, we need to just knock this unit out. They started with 600, and they're down 2/3 already. So they're getting tired. They're losing numbers fast. Our flank is secure over here too. Okay, we got to keep an eye on this since I don't have a lot of long-range support as far as artillery to fight back. And their horsemen are in the act. We got to get on their horsemen. Abandon everybody we're chasing down. We need all cavalry on deck. And what we got to do is to support them. Need to advance. Okay, they seem to be losing interest in our cavalry now as we start moving up against them. The other flank of our line needs to start folding up. And we'll bring reserve units more towards the center as we try wrapping this up. Now this unit is depleted. We just need to bring him out of the fold. He's taken enough damages. And we've defeated the horsemen. In fact, we'll keep one unit running him down and the other ones will go after stragglers in the back. have managed to win a battle here without artillery. Never showing up, never needing those reinforcements to show up, managing to make it happen. There we go. We are victorious. Nice heroic victory for us to keep having our way in India. All right, we only lost 1,500 men to their 7,608. I call that amazing and excellent. They played right into our hands.
Forward! Hey,
And I think we're going to wander back in this direction. That's where you came from.
forward!
And let's see what kind of money we have before we end this episode. Let's just get them repaired so we don't forget to do that. Coming up. Says nothing required for replenishment. Oh, nobody else. So, oh, that's because this army never closed into battle, never needed the reinforcements. So this massive army with 3 regiments of cavalry and nothing else but infantry held up amazingly well, and they are pretty much down to remnant status, just about. So we'll follow through. Probably have the center army continue following up on the remnants. We can come back here next time. When we get movement back and see about taking this province, and then we're back into pretty good shape. We might even move once we get things under control here. Speaking of which, there we go. We might be able to very soon as public order is under control, take this province, and then at that point backtrack over to Hindustan, which we'll need. So there you go. We got some options ahead of us. Things are going well. It's been a long enough episode. I'll try to close my mouth now and end it out. This guy has gained some experience. And there you go. Give me a thumbs up. We had 2 fun little battles on this one. We still got a lot more to go. A lot of ways to take care of things still before we can claim victory in this playthrough. But come back and see if we can keep on doing it next episode. I appreciate your viewership. Thumbs up, subscription, you know the drill, and hey, leave me a comment. Say hi to me. Let me know you're watching. I sure would appreciate it. This is ZigZagZog signing off from somewhere in this world. You all have a great one.